What is up, guys? Welcome to Bears Country Productions, Bears Country Podcast on Bears Country Productions. You know, it's another Thursday. It's just like Thursday. I'm like, can't today just be Wednesday? I'm not prepared enough. But it's always great to be here with you guys because no matter what, we always have a blast and we always figure this shit out. So, guys, how you doing tonight?
What's happening with you, man? Hopefully everyone out there in the world is having a great week. Halfway over. Hump day. It's past hump day. Okay.
It's more than it's 3/4 over.
Yeah. Hey. It's almost Friday, Peach.
Man.
What's the difference between Friday and Thursday for us? Not much. Not much. It never ends, man. It just never ends.
The difference between Thursday and Friday for me is I'm off the next day on Friday.
There's something to be said about
you guys suck.
There's something to be said about retirement. That's all.
I bet.
What the hell's retirement,
guys? I before we get into stuff, I have to tell you guys that Portillo's is dead to me. I have a Portillo's right there.
This guy, he been on this quest about this steak for the last month.
I go on Italian beef vendors whenever I come home. What's up, Armando? What's up, Admis, Scottish Bear, Cliff Victoria, Doug Van Dorn? I go on beef benders, Italian beef benders when I come home, and my Italian beef
sounds
benders
pretty sick, actually, Peach.
They've not involved Portillo's. They're dead to me. Like the last 4 beefs I've had they've been absolute shit. So let me just quickly summarize this. My first job, Aldo Gandia.
Coming in fast and hard.
$10 super chat from Aldo.
What, no super chats?
It's gonna hang with you as long as we're around, dude.
Carl's the kind of guy you can't give him too much. He'll take it and run with it, man.
Gotta love Carl.
Love it. Thank you, Aldo, for your generous $10 super chat. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So many years ago, I kept having dreams about my first job, Sammy's. They're located in Round Lake Beach, and they're in Lake Villa, Illinois, as well. And he has 3 stores. My first job ever started there when I was 14. It's the first Italian beef I ever had, because I didn't even know what they were at that point. They weren't what they are now. They were just kind of really getting into their existence today as people think of them. And I kept having this dream that I'd go into my old work and, I had my Sammy's and hey, Dave, the owner is David Keith. Shout out to David. And I would go in there and I'd be like, oh, can I just please come back there and make my own beef again? And he's in my mind, he's going to be like, yeah, totally. Come on back. But every time I got into Sammy's in my dream, just wanting to have that original Italian beef that I grew up on, that was my first one, that nostalgic flavor to me. Every time I went to Sammy's in my dream, it just turned into a bar. And now he's the bartender and we're having some beers. Or Dave's not there. Dave's not there. Dave's not home. So I probably had 20 of these dreams over the course of 2 years. So I finally went in there, and I don't want to go into detail because I love Dave and I love Sammy's, but it was awful. And so I called him and I told him, and he's like, "What?" He's like, "Okay, so next time you're in, come on in and I'll give you a free beef." So I did that this Saturday. I went in, I got a delicious Italian beef that's exactly what I knew it was, and it was the nostalgic flavor. It was like kissing my first girlfriend again. You know what I mean? Like it was beautiful. It was mouth-wateringly delicious. So that's part of my beef bender, my Italian beef bender. This past month I've been here, and I've gone to Bona, I've gone to Johnny's, I've had beefs from. I'm going to butcher it, but Bearski bought me a beef from a place. Portillo's is dead to me. And so I was talking to David Keith, who owns Sammy's in Round Lake and in Lake Villa. Go check him out. He's probably going to be our sponsor soon, so I'll just keep plugging him. Sammy's in Round Lake Beach, Illinois, and in Lake Villa. he's like, the problem is they're probably buying the beef from. They're not getting the Midwest beef anymore. They're not getting their roasts from the Midwest, Ohio, Iowa, or I'm sorry, Iowa. He said if they're getting it from Texas, it's a different flavor. So I just want to end this rant I'm on by saying Portillo's, now that Dick Portillo sold it for $3 billion to a food conglomeration who runs all this shit. They have changed. They have skimped corners, and the meat has changed. And I beg any one of you who lives in the Chicagoland area or near a Portillo's to try it out and tell me if you think it's the same thing, because it tastes like it's gamey cow to me. Gamey cow, kind of how venison is gamey. Like if you could just take the gaminess out of venison, I might like it. It's gamey like venison. It's terrible. That's my rant. I beg of you guys to let me know if I'm losing my mind, because I don't think I am. I've been on an Italian beef bender. I always said if I was on death row, give me 10 Italian beefs as my last meal.
10.
10. Then you can zap me to death, and I'll shit it out all over your floor.
I think you'll be dead by the time you get done with the 10th one.
It'll save the execution cost.
Right. 10.
We'll just stuff $100 worth of Italian beef to this dude, and he's done.
Yeah, just zap me then. I'd be fine with it.
But you know what? Hey, Dan, just real quick. So I've gone back and checked over the years because I had all these places. Jay's Italian beef, they used to be good. They're not the same. Franny's over in Schiller Park, not the same. Most of them, and restaurants and beef joints. I'm like, what the hell happened? Because they're not what they used to be. Was it all in my head? I don't think so, because I was eating the stuff for 20, 30, 40 years.
Johnny's is the same, right?
Johnny's is the same. Johnny's is pretty much the same.
I also tried Al's beef, by the way, and because I'm an Italian beef snob, and I'm going to judge you. Al's was not as good as Johnny's.
I was there.
They make their own peppers and shit. Like Johnny's is legit, man.
That's why I'm telling you, man. I never got you to Dino's. It's been the same for 50, 60 years.
I'll be back at Christmas.
I will say this. I am not here to talk about
Italian beefs.
Another man's beef. That's all I'm going to. I'm just going to put it out there, bro. I mean, you're talking about Johnny's beef, and you're talking about. You're talking about these different guys.
You're like my buddy.
Franny's a guy or what? But
you're like my buddy, where I wake up on a Sunday, I go, I had a dream that DeAndre Houston Carson intercepted a game-winning ball to seal the deal. And I was like, why would that happen? Like he doesn't even start. But my buddy always said, I don't dream about another man.
Or another man's balls.
That's the same line you're bringing up right now.
I'm just saying.
I'm just gonna have to agree with DVD on this one, dude. He says, I'm mostly concerned with my own meat, Dan. Just, I agree.
That's where I'm at. I'm just
maybe some football on the show tonight. I don't know.
Okay. Well, we can end it with that. I'm
with PJ then, although you know me.
You have to appreciate the difference between a man and a woman, Aldo. That's all I can say. You have to appreciate the difference.
Absolutely.
That's where I went tonight.
Better than hell.
Better than Portillo's.
If this guy's still talking about Portillo's, man.
Better than Portillo's.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's.
I was going to just say before we get into because I know we wanted to talk about comparing the defenses, but any thoughts? Are we going to do a review of the Texans game?
What? No super chats?
Absolutely not.
You know what? I got a review.
Okay.
Looking at that Texans game, I can say that I didn't think Caleb played horribly. I didn't. I think that there was a lot of miscommunication, especially on the games by the old linemen when the Texans was doing their, gamesmanship, the loops and all those other things. We need to do a better job of communicating and how to pass it off. I thought Caleb, for the most part, got the ball out pretty quickly. He made a couple of overthrows, but I'm not going to nitpick over that in the sense of that just happens. I just know that happens. I hate that he took so many hits because you can develop bad habits, be it holding on to the ball too long, be it seeing ghosts, whatever the case may be. So that's why I hope that Chris Morgan and Shane Waldron get together, come up with a good game plan to say, hey, this is how we're going to protect this guy. Because if you remember, we started off the game with two guys in the backfield, and as they're going out in the route, they chipped the defensive end. They chipped him, and therefore Caleb was Caleb started off, if I'm not mistaken, like 5 for 5 or 7 for 7, something like that. So I thought he did well. But then when they started bringing in more, then we started seeing like we were doing more empty sets. And I'm like, whoa, we're doing the opposite here. So to sum it up for me, it's not the end of the world. I never said it was. And I'm not backtracking or doubling back. I'm just saying, listening to people and rushing to judgment, because I heard some people say, oh, Caleb can't process it. Well, I'm not here to bash the kid. I'm not, and I'm not going to. I just think the line coach as well as the offensive coordinator need to cut together, come up with a better game plan on how to protect him, and we can move forward.
Max protect, man. It's a rookie quarterback. They're going to be blitzing him all season long, every single game. They're going to do it, every single team.
Until you fix
the
it.
mind frame has to be Max protect. Roshan Johnson's a great blocker. I said this on Bare Their Souls on Tuesday night with Dan and Aldo. Roshan Johnson's a great blocker. Why isn't he in the game? Why they should, if they're going to go 2 tight end set, I mean, number 14 is just slow. He just looks slow to me. And if you're going to max protect him, put in Mercedes Lewis, man. Put him in as a second tight end. He's basically a swing tackle at that point. And my final point, let you go, Foster, is Khalil Herbert needs to be slashing the ball more. He's not. Why isn't he playing? What's Travis effing Homer? Thank you, DVD. Doing in the game. Go ahead, Foster.
You're good, Pete. I just want to say this. I know what we saw. We know what our defense is. So, I mean, that's the number one take I'm taking right there. Defense looked good. Houston's a playoff team. We were in this game the entire way. Had opportunities to win this game. Had opportunities to lose this game. Things could have been a lot worse. It's not the end of Caleb. I mean, everybody's screaming and yelling about the offensive line and the coaching staff and the use of personnel. I believe they'll get it figured out. Look at a rookie quarterback. Take your average rookie quarterback, even in the top 15 picks. I know he's number 1 pick, but you take them and look at their first year, look at their first 5 games, you're going to have this kind of stuff happen. I'm definitely, you guys know, because I've been bitching about the interior. I'm going to just say the offensive line now, but mostly the interior. And even that, I don't think is as bad as it looks. It's not as good as we want it to be. You know, we're maybe top in the 20, not even in the middle of the pack. We might be a little bit below that, but it's an improvement. I want to say this too, man. I almost picked that score right at the last minute last week. I changed it from 1913 to 2013. That would have been 2 weeks in a row. I was like, man, I got to go with my first gut feeling on that. But I just kind of like the game didn't upset me because I saw all this coming kind of as I'm watching the game. Everybody's like, aren't you pissed off? Aren't you upset? And I'm like, no, I literally had them losing. And I just saw this because the offense is not ready yet. We got people nicked up. There is not the continuity that we wanted coming into the season with this line. That's for damn sure. I don't know if guys are missing assignments. there was a, I can't remember the play, but there was a play where Tevin hit the guy, and Braxton, they both hit the same guy, and then the other guy went around Braxton, and I was asking if that was Braxton's fault for not rotating over. Was it the design of the offense? Did somebody miss something? I think DVD mentioned the best scenario with this is that this stuff can be fixed. Caleb taking the beating, we know where that goes, man. Look at Justin. Look at year one. Look at when he was playing for Fangio. Look at the Pittsburgh game. Look how he came back and drove down the field in that game. And it seemed like he couldn't do that for 2 years. I don't even know if he still can after the beating the guy took. So that's the biggie is we've got to stay on board with protecting Caleb better because 7 sacks. Although I think I mentioned this briefly on Aldo's show. I was only on there for a bit. Sorry about that, Aldo. If this was last year's offensive line or the years prior, the guy would have got killed. They would have had 10, 12 sacks on him. So how come Lucas Patrick is the highest rated left guard in the NFL?
Did you guys get a chance to see? Hold on. Did you guys get a chance to see New Orleans offense?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
I love that.
They is doing all this misdirection and all that stuff. Oh, my
I am a proud Alvin Kamara fantasy owner. Very proud.
Their offense, man, I'm telling you, it's like I was watching a breakdown the other day of them, and I'm telling you, it's like they doing a misdirection here, misdirection there. You don't even know where the ball is, and by the time you recognize where the ball is, the guy is up the field, or they already completed a pass for 20 yards. I'm not saying that's going to be sustainable because sooner or later, I'm sure they'll catch on. But right now, New Orleans offense is wow.
Yeah. What do you want to say next? Go ahead. Just spit it out.
You know, they've always seemed to do that, even with Peyton, whatever. They've always developed a nicely cohesive offense, and it seems like it's just carried over with this coach. I know last year was a little rough, but they had salary cap issues, and they've got those resolved. And I just think Derek Carr is a little underrated because he spent all those years with the Raiders and maybe wasn't even used right. I don't know.
You know, I remember the when we was in the process of trying to find, debating on who our offensive coordinator should be. One of the things I mentioned was my number one was Waldron, and I went with Waldron because I saw what he did with Geno, and I thought he'd be able to do the same thing with Justin because I thought we was going to keep Justin at the time. But then my second guy was Kubiak because I saw what Kubiak's father did, and then Kubiak was in Minnesota himself, and I'm like, okay, this guy's going to be an up and comer, and sure enough, he is really doing his thing in New Orleans. I must admit. But before I forget, I want to say, Aldo, thanks again for having us on. For those of you who didn't know, we were on Aldo's show, Bare Their Souls, Tuesday night. Go back to Bare Their Souls and check us out. We was all over there having a good time. So thanks again, Aldo, for having us.
Appreciate that, Aldo. But by the way, we should get the chat, guys.
I thought you did that already.
I mean, I did just quickly in the beginning. This is known as like 5 people that we got. Armando Lera Jr. and Patty Lera, his wife. Thank you for joining us, guys.
Cliff Victoria, Doug Van Dorn,
Zach Sullivan,
Leo Factor 1,
Mr. Scrody.
I'm gonna let Shorty say the Eduardo. Go ahead and hit it for me.
Eduardo. Oh, where is it at? I have to find his name first. Where is it?
Isaac Rodriguez M.
Eduardo Isaac Rodriguez. Thank you for joining us tonight. Tony Moy, Antmus, Leo Factor hanging out with us tonight.
Aldo Gandia with the super chat.
Pete, you gotta give Shorty his little things that he loves. It just makes him so happy.
I'm telling you.
Let's not forget about the Scottish Bear. I got the Scottish Bear in here tonight, guys.
You guys get Viz Joe in there?
Yes, Vizzo Joe.
Vizzo Joe, Mr. Mayhem.
We got our
Leo
producer
Factor.
in the background, Thigh and Side Podcast.
Doing a great job. Thank you, Carl.
Did you get Chips
Zach
Ahoy Boy?
Chips Ahoy Boy? What's up, Chips?
In the house.
Zach Sullivan.
Dexter.
Chips Ahoy wanted to. He shared something with me. I've been trying to send this to my computer, but it doesn't want to work. So I'll have to read it out later. In fact, it froze up my entire phone.
Hi, Patty.
Frickin' Max
and
these days.
Armando Lara.
Appreciate seeing you guys in here and supporting us. I hang out with them and chat on the Sports Zone Chicago on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
My man, Mr. Mayhem.
Appreciate you guys.
I just got a question for
Travis
Patty and
Pliskin.
Armando. You hang out in a nice, respectable chat like that, yet you're here every week watching us. I hope you're okay. I hope you're okay.
We don't mean to give you Dane Bramage.
Talking to Dan too much can be detrimental to your health.
Truly appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you guys for joining us.
Travis Pliskin is a newbie. Thanks for joining us tonight, Travis. Again, we've got 140 watching us right now, and
140 in the chat.
We seem to have a huge following on Twitter, so we appreciate you guys watching us on Twitter too. Thank you guys. Let's see what do you have here? Carl's pulling up BCP's predictions
from last week
for our total overall predictions.
No, this is from last week, right?
So I had him 28-20.
So I'm wrong.
Foster was 2017. Man, wouldn't that have been awesome if they could have just pulled that off? Man.
Oh, that was because I.
Oh, look at it. Okay, everybody.
No,
Larry said 31-21. Charles Johnson 20-10. Simon 19-17. Vizzo Joe 28-24.
I gotta stop doing that because I on another podcast I got 2013 Texans on two other podcasts, so I got to stop bullshitting myself because I never thought that. I'm hoping for it.
I think for me, like I told you guys, when it comes to week, I will pick the Bears every week. So I know I'm going to be missing on a lot. But overall, like I told you guys,
I'm there with you, man.
Overall, I think the Bears probably finished like 10-7, 11-6, something like that. I think my prediction came out to be 12-5, but I really believe 10-7 or 11-6.
Carl, are you taking notes on Atmos there with his prediction? Sorry, PJ.
You star it. You got it.
Yeah. So yeah, I just think but every week I will be picking the Bears. I'm kind of like Dick used to do with when he was on what was that, Sports Center or something, NFL Countdown, something. He would always pick the Bears. I'm the same way.
Adam Rank does the same thing now, man.
Yeah.
Adam always picks the Bears. I remember last year, like every week, he was the only one picking the Bears every damn week on that show, man.
Yeah.
I'm going, all right, that's cool.
The only time I haven't picked the Bears in the last, 4 or 5 years since the championship loss to the Packers is when they played the Packers. I have always picked the Packers until last year, the opening game. I just assumed we were going to kick their ass, and that really took the wind out of me, and I'll never forget it. I'm still pissed off about it.
Believe me, we know.
Can you tell?
Yeah, I was planning on having you see a doctor about it, but
like a proctologist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Wait, what's the other one?
Just no prostate massages.
I'm just saying, a proctologist is going to do what for you, short?
I don't know. Like, it's the doctor you want me to see. I don't know. I'm just assuming the worst.
Like, hey, you feel better yet, Shorty? You feel better yet? Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
What's up, J2K?
J2K, what's up, my man?
J2K.
I've been here for a month, and I've been trying to get make some time to hang out with you again and get a little bit of help from you. But my computer the keyboard just kept dying on it, even though I did a factory reset a couple of times. So I finally had taken it to the Apple Store, and they wiped it out. I had to start all over again. So, but I wish I had a month that I could have spent with J2K, like in my free time, doing more stuff with the audio, Adobe Suites.
J2K, don't feel bad. He stood me
the
up
master.
a few times. Trust me, he stood me up a few times. Don't even worry about it, J2K. It's not just you.
I bought you dinner. Shame on you.
That's technically before you got to Chicago.
You said a few times. That's three. A few is 3.
Is it?
Yeah, and you said 2 days before that the game, a few is 3, and several is 4. A couple is 2. So you said that game was you weren't going to that game because of the rain.
Is that new math there, Shorty?
Yeah.
No, that's how it works, man.
So
a couple is 2, a few is 3, several is 4.
See, back in my day, a couple used to meant 2 or 3.
Well, that was 500 years ago.
This is not Foster, bro.
Remember, I made the high school yearbook pick a hieroglyph for you, but I never use it on you. I use it on Foster.
Yeah, people still bring that up to me. Can I see that again?
That was good.
You go to like Egypt and look in the caves, you'll see it.
So I think that, like I said, he's going to get blitzed all game, every game by every team that they play. They do that to every damn rookie quarterback, and especially this kid because nobody wants him to. They all want him to fail, really, because then they can just laugh at us again for not being able to develop a quarterback. And
I don't think that's the reason. I think
listen,
they don't want to beat us.
Why? Well, that too. But they're afraid of us. Like if the Bears are like a dynasty, look out, world. They know that we'd take over the damn world. How many Chiefs fans are there in the UK?
If the Bears are a dynasty, the NFL's value go up.
It does, but the rest of the league, the owners and all that shit, and all the owners and team, the meetings, there's no way in hell they want that. They know they would be put to the wayside. They'd be crushed like into pebbles.
They're looking at the bottom down. The
they
bottom
would make money from it.
Well, there you go.
But
because
they would be.
I can guarantee you, a lot of the owners probably don't even know who the players are on their rosters. They probably know a few players, but they be like, "Who's that guy?"
Fair enough. My question is, where is was it Matt Pryor?
Pryor
on the offensive line.
Yeah,
the right guard that played so well in the preseason. Where the hell is he?
Waiting for a tackle to get hurt.
He played well as a right guard. Why not just play him?
Because if our tackles go down, either one of them, he's a primary backup right now.
I thought we'd see him more at right guard last week, and we didn't because of all those injuries and nicks on that offensive line.
Yeah.
What if he's playing right guard and he gets hurt, man? Then we're in deep doo-doo.
What's up, STC?
STC
in the house.
Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Then isn't Karan Amagaji a tackle? Technically.
Yeah. Have you seen him play?
No, but if he can just nurse his way back, couldn't he be the backup tackle?
Well, it's a big step in competition. The last time he played a game was at Yale.
Yes.
So and no preseason games. Now you want to? I expect him to redshirt pretty much all year. Because he just has no experience right now.
I think I started saying,
right.
And this is out of everything Poles has done. His biggest failure has been the fixes on the offensive line. They just have not worked out. Whether it's the player himself, the coaching, playing to the player's strengths, for whatever reason, that has been That has been our Achilles heel since he has come into the building.
I,
Hopefully that'll get resolved.
I think, there's a balancing act. I mean, like we
Wait,
talked
Peach.
about.
Albo saying his last game was October 16th of 2023.
Almost a year ago.
Yeah.
I think it's a balancing act. I mean, like Foster and I have been harping on, with the players not really playing during the preseason. I mean, it kind of shows up. I think Carter, this is controversial, but I think Carter probably should have made the team because he has had some starting experience, whereas we got Murray on the team, and Murray has not had any. So you're now hesitant to play him because he hasn't had none. So now you kind of at a loss. Whereas Carter, man, throw him in there and say, hey, Davis, if you ain't playing right, Carter, you get in there. Let's see what you got. But therein lies the problem because you can't throw Murray out there because Murray has no experience and you don't want him with no experience trying to protect your rookie quarterback.
That could be a major, major issue, man. Another injury.
Yeah, man. You're right. Sorry, mic drop. I'm trying to get some of these pictures loaded here. It's like I got my phone working again.
Now we're having a short show tonight, guys. Understand that, so we're going to rush through a lot of things here because there's a short show because of
shorty show. Literally.
Good point, PJ. Guys, drop your score predictions, otherwise we're going to miss them.
Oh, mine's up there.
You guys want to do the score prediction?
Would you be so kind, Foster, as to recite your score predictions for the Colts game?
Never, Carl. I'm going to make you look for it. A joke, I jest.
Speaking of which, you don't want
really freaking short tonight, Peach.
Right.
What do you guys think? That was a good show? I think it sucked. I think it was terrible. I think we should start over and do a whole new episode now because that was terrible.
Oh man. I could probably go a little bit. I could probably do an hour and a half. We were thinking about an hour tonight, but I could probably do an hour and a half if you guys wanted to.
Just go back and play with your
us starting the show late. I got some of my stuff packed up. I've been in a hotel for a month in Illinois, and I have to leave. I have to check out tomorrow morning and go to work. So it's been a chore to work late, get in here, try to pack up, or go eat dinner, then come here try to pack up my stuff. I just don't want to do it at midnight. So if we're done in an hour and a half, I'll be happy with that. So is there a fix to this offensive line? Is it just more gelling time together? Because the way I'm seeing Coleman Shelton just get train rolled, it kind of is concerning, and I'm worried that that's going to be the end all be all to a season that could have been.
Can I offer an unpopular opinion there?
Yes, of course you can.
I think the secret to our O-line is simply Chris Morgan, Shane Waldron, Matt Eberflus. We're going to have a meeting. We're going to discuss and show on film how we want to have this blocking in connection to our rookie quarterback. What works for him? Is it rolling out the pocket, moving the pocket? Whatever we're going to do, we're going to discuss it together, come up with a plan, then actually practice the plan before game time, show that it actually works in practice, then do it in the game. As opposed to just talking about it and then hoping that it works on Sunday. No, we're going to actually practice it. Practice it, make sure it works, do it in the game.
Don't you think they've done that? I mean, they're playing against one of the best defenses in the league in practice. Don't you think that the plays that they have chosen – I'm more worried about the personnel that Waldron's been using, but
one versus ones don't happen during the season like this. They'll be going against a scout team, but I don't know how much they're practicing, and that's what I'm saying, because you got to marry Chris Morgan's philosophy with Shane Waldron's offense. I mean, they got to marry them together and make sure they're on the same page, because blocking schemes got to match up to the offensive scheme. And if I'm not mistaken, Chris Morgan did not come from that Kyle Shanahan offense, if I'm not mistaken. Thought he was in Atlanta and Pittsburgh, and they didn't run it there unless he was there when Kyle Shanahan was there in Atlanta. I can't remember. But that's the thing. You got to make sure that blocking scheme marries up with the offense in order to make it work.
Foster?
Man, I just don't know. I've been questioning what we actually have going back, whatever, just going back to before the summer, even when we had gotten this group a little bit together, because we really didn't know what Nate Davis was going to be. We didn't know how Pryor, Pryor, Shelton, any of these guys would play, because we never saw. We've only seen film of them with other teams, and it's limited. None of these guys that he brought in were starters for long periods of time. So that makes it difficult right there to give them a proper. Just to be honest about what they're capable of, because we see what they're doing now. Now, is that coaching? Is it missed assignments? Is it not working together, not being cohesive like we always talk about? I don't know. I don't know which way to think on that. There's probably multiple aspects that get involved with it. I just think though that they can play better than they're playing, because like a lot of this stuff is fixable, man. Work on this shit. Work on it day in, day out. They should have been doing it all summer, man. They should have been doing this all summer.
How annoying is it that we got rid of a Lucas Patrick for another Lucas Patrick? And Lucas Patrick is playing like we hoped he would have played for us.
Well, I think that's the key, though. I mean, because if in Shelton, he's kind of on the lighter side. So you can't expect some 280, 290-pound guy to be handling a 340-pound guy or whatever, however big these guys he's going against is. And it's like he can't handle that. Jason Kelsey was one of the smaller centers in the league. So what did he use? He used his leverage. So he would turn his guy a certain way, whichever way the guy's momentum is going, he takes the guy that way, but he stays on him. You know what I mean? He stays on him and drives him. So again, you just can't expect this guy to anchor when he's lightweight.
Foster, have you ever worked on a pirate ship?
No, but I'm thinking about making that career move. I was going to go over to Somalia and hang out for a few weeks, see what happens. Yeah, I'll have some egg rolls, some tin ping dong, and
Well, yeah, I think that's the key, though. I mean, you just can't expect these guys, or the term I use, if you're lighter weight, don't wrestle with the bear. Don't wrestle with the bear. Meaning that you don't sit up there and try to out-muscle a guy who's stronger than you. Use your leverage. Use his weight and his momentum against him, and then you can be that way. That's what I say. If you have to move the pocket, move the pocket. But just don't expect a lighter center or a lighter player to go against a heavier guy and be able to maintain that. It's almost impossible.
Agreed. I'm going to throw this out there too. Anybody ever think? I don't know if anybody thinks about this. So you ever think that Patrick said, "Man, I had a terrible year last year. This is not going to happen again this year." So because he signed that contract with us, he might have got lazy. It happens. The guy worked hard this year because he saw what he did last year, and everybody told him what he did last year. I'm not saying I'm even right. This is just something that went through my mind. And a biggie. This is a biggie. Coaches using the player's strengths and not just saying, okay, this is the play, we're running it. If you can't handle that, you're going to have a problem the entire game, man. So you've got to play to the strengths. I don't know what each individual strengths are. I'm not going to say I do. I haven't looked at it. But the coaches have to be aware of this stuff. And the adjustments have to be made, or we're going to have a hell of a long season with a lot of these low-scoring games. And we're going to go through the same crap we went with Justin, the same crap we went through with Mitch, and 20 other freaking quarterbacks over the last 30 years. But I think real quick, I think Caleb, though, is leaps and bounds ahead of those guys I just mentioned when you look at game 2 of the career of any of them. Because he had his moments where he was making the passes were crisp. Early in that game, he threw a couple passes that I was like, okay, cool. Now this looks like an offense. The line was lacking a little bit, but he made adjustments in the pocket, and they struggled a little bit, but he looked crisp, and then they kind of Texans. Everybody's going to be watching what the Texans did to him and see how that changed the entire game for the Bears, and that's what we're going to see because that just totally messed the game plan up, man. The way that they were coming on stunts and blitzing, rushing 4 or 5 guys every play.
Yeah.
Caleb's first 5 or 6 passes were completions, and they were beautiful. There was a nice out route, just bing, bing, bam. And
on time.
He was yeah.
It's fixable and not as bad as everybody's bitching about. That's my opinion.
I know that's what I was about to say. It's like
patience.
The first part that I was going to say is it's just so annoying how we can have all of these fun new toys and we just don't know how to play with them. I mean, we all thought, with Waldron, he was going to come in, and I'm not saying that he's not going to. I think with Caleb, all of our expectations were, I'm talking about myself, probably more than anybody else, but that my expectations were that, it's a similar offense to last year, to the Getsy's offense, but it's better run. And I was expecting just there's some just boneheaded moves just with personnel, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. It seems like, and that's my second part to this is being here and back in Chicago for a month, and my radio is on 670, for my 10-minute ride to work and my 10-minute ride home, and then that 20 minutes out of my day just listening to the score, it's just like, my God, like. The fans, the score really isn't there. The score is kind of trying to push, the narrative that the sky isn't falling. But, you get some of these fans that are just, why are we so focused on what DJ Moore's, body language is on the field after a difficult game? Why are we so, why is everyone talking about, CJ Stroud talking to Caleb Williams after the game and him just wanting to get the fuck out of there. But he kept coming no, come back here and listen to me. And who gives a shit? The guy just lost the game when he had the ball on the last possession, and it's in his blood to win that game, and he didn't. He's annoyed by it. I don't want to hear any of this shit about his personality. He just wanted to win the damn game. Any one of you that were in his position would have felt the same way. And hearing these that's one of the reasons I'm glad I moved, because I don't have this. It's not readily available and shoved in my face every time I get in the car. I have to search it out, and I choose not to. And so then I just daydream about Italian beats. Yeah. What's up, Demond Ice? Nick Albright, thank you for joining us tonight. Brandon Hallam, thank you very, very much for joining us. So it's just we are all so, this whole state, city, everything. We're all cut from the same cloth, and we want immediate results. We love this team so much that we just expect the world we all predict. most of us predict a winning season every year when even though we know we suck. We're just going off of the what ifs. And having this first pick and everything the way it's panned out and Caleb Williams, yada, 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 has caused the fan base, including myself, to just take it to the next level with our fandom. And I myself, being one of those people, am choosing to remain. My wife said it the best. She's like, I feel really calm this season. Like I feel like I'm not going to get too high or too low. And I said, man, I wish I could do that. She's like, no, just breathe with me. Like, can't get too high, can't get too low. Because she's like, I just feel like this is all going to just be, it's all going to happen. And if we just keep overreacting or, to every single game.
She's sounding just like me. What?
Yeah. If we keep overreacting to every single game, like it's the fucking end of the world, and it's the second game. How many of you really thought they were going to win this game? In the back of my head, I chose it as a win, but I was like, I'm probably not going to win that game. We're upset about the sacks. We're upset about the offensive line. That's what we're upset about. Be upset about that. Be worried about that, but don't be worried about the quarterback or the receiver. This is all. I still think that this is a playoff team. I do. This is a playoff team. Sorry, PJ. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that to answer your question, I thought that we was going to actually win the game once we got there, because for one, the talent's there. I believe the talent's here on this team, and if we pull it together, it can work out. But the issue is we didn't really address our offensive line like we've been wanting, or like we feel as though they should. I mean, in the last several years, we have drafted one offensive lineman in the first round who was fully healthy, but we are notorious for drafting offensive linemen who has a history or who are injured or who's been injured, and we're drafting them and expecting them to play at a Pro Bowl level. And we just need to do a better job of addressing the offensive line, and that's part of the reason why I was hoping for a trade where we can address these issues, because our offensive line is suspect as best. I mean, I never thought Shelton was the answer. I mean, maybe he can prove me wrong and do better, but I never thought he was great. But if I'm not mistaken, don't they have me as a 12th ranked center? And if they have me as a 12th ranked center, it's like, what am I missing? Shelton.
Yeah, they need to look at the rankings again.
I don't know.
They need to adjust that at this point.
So that's what I'm saying. I mean, I just think that it's like we got to identify what we want to be: a running team, passing team, finesse team, power team, however we want to do it. Recognize what our identity is, figure out what our identity is, and let's go with it. Because right now, I don't believe
the minister is in the house. Sorry, PJ. I thought you were done. Minister Charles Johnson, thank you for joining us. Yeah, you are correct, PJ. We've seen enough, in my opinion, out of this quarterback to know that once everything gets figured out, once he finds the key to the vault, forget about it, guys, because he's going to find the key to the vault. It's just a matter of how long it takes.
Unless he gets ruined before then. And Foster and I talked about this already. It's like if we don't figure out how to protect him, he will develop bad habits. He will develop bad habits, start seeing ghosts. These things will happen. So they have to figure out how to protect this kid, be it play selection, be it, like I said, doing these other things, moving, but whatever you got to do, protect him. Because you don't want him to get to the point where he's developing bad habits. And then, like I said before, in a few years, let's trade him for the next new quarterback that's coming out.
Sick of doing that shit.
I promise you, if that happens, I'm removing this tattoo from my arm. It's coming off. I'm going to be done. I will no longer be a Bears fan.
If he shows us that scrawny little arm one more time.
Carl's got something to say.
All right.
It's so the wrong color too, right? It's not even. It's like faded and shit. It's not even the right blue.
Well, gentlemen, we've gone 50 minutes without talking about the title of the video, so I don't know if we want to touch on that in the next 24 minutes. The reason I asked to jump in, though, I like PJ's comment regarding the roster construction. I think it can be questioned to a very small degree, and it is an important thing to talk about. But when you have these, dare I say, idiots coming in out of nowhere saying, oh, so-and-so was drafted 4 picks after Jaquan Brisker and anything else with your recency bias, I think it's disgusting. And I hate to criticize Aldo because he had us on his show and he's a really good guy. But the Buffon 55 show threw me through one yesterday. Dare I say, I call it the Buffoon show. They were criticizing the fact that the Bears selected Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker. How can you not remember how bad the Bears secondary was going into that draft? It's asinine to say, oh, they should have taken a middle of the pack guard. No, not Zach Frazier. This was in 2020, 2021. I'm trying to find the name right now.
First draft.
Right. And like the offensive line didn't have icons on it at that point either, but I just think it's stupid to point the finger and say, oh, I should have done this, should have done this. And then you have people like Bill Belichick, of all people, saying, oh, the Bears roster construction is less than desired. Bill Belichick got himself fired from the Patriots because of his poor roster construction. So that's my rant on the end of that. So just keep it level-headed like how these gentlemen have been talking for the last hour.
No way, dude. We're not doing that. Level-headed ain't happening.
I know, and then you have the domestic assault champion, Richard Sherman, saying, oh, the Bears drafted first overall this year because they earned it. No, they fucking acquired the trade via trade. The pick via trade.
Bears had the ninth
It's
pick,
ridiculous. I'm really getting bitter towards the Chicago media.
So here's who I was thinking of. No, that's wrong.
Oh, my God. But yeah, J2K.
In that draft,
he's joking.
I would have drafted Romeo.
But he's joking, right? Like the Valus pick was fine because they didn't have a wide receiver, so it's okay. Like, I don't know if J2K is being serious or not.
That's me. I would have went Dobbs on that.
I know, Leo Factor. It's so easy to go back and say, "Oh, how was the O line that year? It sucked." The Bears earned the first overall pick the year after. Like, we get it; they were bad.
In that first draft, I myself I went on the board, and after the first round ended that night, I literally went through everything on the board, and I picked Gordon and Brisker too because they were the best players available, and they helped the Bears.
Bro, Kyler Gordon was invited to the green room. They thought that he would be a top 20 pick.
Right.
And he lasted to the second round. It's value.
Here's the thing, and Poles kind of was put in the position to do this because he said he wanted to build this team from the trenches through the draft. It just didn't work out the way he had anticipated most of it. That's what I think.
It's indisputable.
You've got to strengthen the team with every guy you're drafting, especially in the position we were in 3 years ago.
It's indisputable that for the last 5 drafts leading up to this draft, and probably the next 5 drafts, Rome Odunze would be the first overall wide receiver off the board. It's very possible that that's the case. So to criticize picking Rome Odunze because you didn't end up pulling the trigger, trading away your 3rd and 4th to get Joe Alt, or whatever the hell you're going on about, it's really stupid. And it ticks me off. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, fucking Carl, man. Always coming up with something.
I just think, I mean, and I'm not trying to jump the gun here, so please don't misunderstand what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is when you look at Rome Odunze, you got him at 9. Knowing that you needed help on the offensive line, could you not have traded back like into the teens if possible and picked up a second by doing it? Then you can draft Brian Thomas Jr. and Jackson Powers Johnson. So what I'm basically trying to say is I'm not mad at Poles for drafting Odunze, but when you know you have multiple holes, you have to now start trading some of your draft picks down in order to get more draft picks. And that's where I think he possibly has failed. It remains to be seen whether or not Brian Thomas Jr. will be better than Roma Dunze. I'm not making that argument. I'm just saying the argument of trading down. That's where I think you have to sometimes do, because we were not ready with the way the roster is constructed to win a Super Bowl this year. We have some glaring holes. Those holes could have been filled by trading down. Possibly. Therein lies the issue, because you bring in a guy like Shelton, expect him to be your center, and I've not been impressed with him. I think, even with Nate Davis, I have not been impressed with him. So we could address certain things there, and I think therein lies the issue. And then going back to my favorite statement, we're not playing our starters enough in the preseason to get them ready for the season.
We've been talking about that since we started.
Aldo's saying, I'm telling you all now, next week at this time, Ryan Poles will be a genius again. I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree. I think,
he's never not to me, Aldo. I just am on board with him all the way. Even if I say something, that doesn't mean I'm even right. Poles is a genius, because look what he's done in 3 years. This team would be a mess if Ryan Pace if Pace was still here, be screwed. We'd have a whole lot deeper than you could possibly get out of.
Sorry for cutting you off, Shorty. Yeah,
that's all good.
I'm just thinking that when I look at the way this team is currently constructed, and this is how I really feel about it, I think it's constructed to where we're good. We're not great, we're good. So because we're now good, come next year, we're not going to have a high enough draft pick in order to make a really good impact, bring in a really good impact player. So therefore, I think he kind of, for the lack of a better term, shot his wad 1 year too early. Go ahead, Shorty.
Yeah. I'm at a hotel. I'm connected to hotel internet, so if I'm like, you guys froze up on me, but it's probably on my end. So if I freeze up on you, I apologize. Where are you? I understand your concern on that, but we're gonna have the Panthers' second round pick, which is probably going to be in the top 3 of that second round. Plus, hopefully, we'll be picking in the 20s, so we'll have. We're like right in that sweet spot of 2 picks in that sweet spot. Plus, we have our own third, right? I believe so. Still, we traded away a fourth for Booker and 2 sixths. Turn off the porn tab.
I agree.
We also, we could.
I won't turn mine off. But I agree, Aldo. He should.
It's only on my phone, damn it. I don't go on porn on my computer. So like, we could very well have two more third round draft picks if we lose Ian Cunningham, which I almost wonder if we should just replace him with Poles, because it seems like he might be the man behind the man that's really the man, So but if we lose him
in the same draft.
Oh shit, that's what I was worried about. Okay. So, but we will at least have a late, hopefully like a 20s pick or lower. And if it's lower, let's just say, in my opinion, it's the 32nd pick. And then we have like the 4th pick and the 3rd pick in the 2nd round. That's a really nice spot to be in. I think that's where you get 2 offensive linemen in a row. And you fix the problem, because he's proven that he's doubled down every year, whether it's in free agency and the draft or the draft. He's doubled down on one position, and I love that strategy, because it seems to be paying off. So if they are right there in that sweet spot and can get 2 offensive linemen in that zone, I think that's a win.
I'm with J2K though. I just took a quick look at the upcoming draft, because it's so, we're at the beginning of the season, man. Already looking at the draft is crazy, but we've got those 2 second-round picks. And looking at the early draft projections, the good offensive linemen are if you look, they're going to take a lot of defensive players and wide receivers again. So the offensive linemen are going at the end of the first round into the second. So I'd like what J2K is seeing here. Get the last piece or hopefully one of the last big pieces that you need on that defensive line. And then what polls is always talk about, building the trenches through the draft. You got to pick them. We need to get a guard in the center. But we're so far ahead talking about the draft, and we should really jump into
the show topic.
The show topic.
Carl, do you have any plan for that?
I threw together a loose spreadsheet, but I don't know if we want to talk about this with 14 minutes left. I mean, why don't we just do it next week?
We can go a little longer. Whatever.
No, I said I would go. I could go an hour and a half tonight.
Oh, well, if that's what you guys want to do, I mean, I'm down. I'm down for it, but
we can jump into
I just feel bad. I just feel bad. Anyone who searches for the video, it's going to be an hour in, and they're like, "Where's the topic?" So we can run with it. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, Carl, that's normal us.
Everyone always saves all the best for last.
You're not wrong. That's not what Aldo told me. That's not what Aldo told me. Aldo said, "Short and sweet, get it over with, on to the next woman." Something like that.
That's my theory.
We know.
Well, you got 2 women, so I don't know how. I'm done. I'm not.
I've got 5
continuing
states,
this.
Carl.
I'm not continuing this.
Around us. Sorry.
5 states, 2 women in each. Chat. What's 5 times 2?
One. You got to have plenty of room, dude. There's got to be plenty of space.
What's 5 times 2?
A total of how many teeth?
Yeah.
14.
10 women, 14 teeth.
My favorite.
ESPN
one,
30 for 30.
Peach, my favorite one has dentures.
Pulls them out.
VHS knows about those. Love you,
Doug
Doug.
Van Doren says,
Love you, Doug.
People listening can't read this because this was what we were trying to segue into. Carl, this defense is maybe as good as a 2006 defense, but in different ways.
I don't know if anyone read the little description, whatever I put in the video. I mean, the concept for this video was how opportunistic they are. They've shown it in 2 straight games.
Agreed.
Foster, I love you, man.
I love you too, Foster.
Bro, you are truly hilarious.
You are.
Somebody's got it. Somebody's got to do it because you guys aren't.
You can see his mustache very well in that lighting. I like it.
It's all nicotine stained.
It's not nicotine today.
Aldo said it was something else.
Yeah.
It stinks like pussy and is nicotine stained.
It's exactly what Aldo said when he picked me up in his arms at the Titans game.
Before you guys laundered money with that civilian.
I'm telling you.
Foster almost looked like a skinwalker right there.
Oh, I'm crying, man.
Foster.
Man. Foster, Steve Phillips can attest to this. Man, you got on the train that day and we picked you up, and you sat down and you were like this.
Wait.
For fucking an hour and a half, all the way to the train station. And then you got off and you're like, and we got to the gig. It's like, fucking Aldo, he's yours.
2 cups of coffee and 3 hours of sleep will mess anybody up.
And Aldo's like, man, he wouldn't fucking shut up the whole game. I'm like, I'm sorry, Aldo. We had
come on, Aldo, tell him the truth, man. I sat there on the edge of my seat most of the game, not saying
I'm
shit.
like, hopefully his Adderall will off by now. God, I love you, Foster.
PJ's falling off the handle.
What did Aldo say? I celebrated a touchdown with Foster and realized this guy was performing cunnilingus for 3 hours just a little while ago.
Oh my!
It was 2 hours before that.
What the fuck?
He's like,
What?
He's like,
I'm sorry.
I was just at a girl's house right down the road. So I tried to come by.
What are you talking about? At halftime, I was in the women's John. Although I didn't tell you I found it 20 minutes.
Whoa! You should not be saying that on a podcast on YouTube. That was the wrong move. Oh my god!
Are you kidding me?
I'm telling you.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
I am so sorry I missed it. That's all I was. I'm sorry.
I missed what? The game or the cunnilingus?
Could have been you with him at the game.
Oh man!
I
bet you the cunnilingus at the game.
I just wanted to be able to see Aldo's face sitting next to Foster.
Oh, did he show any of those videos that he took?
Remember after the game, Foster, we were walking back and we like got over that, the train. We went through Grand Park and we walked over the train area on the bridge. And you're just like, oh, Aldo, and I was like, let me save you from this conversation, Aldo. And I was like, I'm gonna tell him a story.
And then after Shorty was done telling the story, he's like, I should have just let Foster ramble on. It was better.
Then he bought us all dinner. Thank you, Aldo.
Yeah. He bought us all beefs. Ale beefs.
Whoa. What did he do to you guys' beefs?
He didn't buy us dicks. He bought us Italian beefs. I can't think of the word.
Go ahead, speak your mind.
I can't think of the word. That's my problem. Invalid. That's it. Oh boy. So listen. Getting back on track to the show, the title of the show.
What? No super chats?
Nope.
Nobody's giving us money tonight. Come on, guys.
I made sure to stay real quiet while you said that. Thank you. 107.53.
For anyone that doesn't know the joke, I'll say it again. That is exactly what happened when I was begrudgingly watching a CHGO show. I hate CHGO. And that, what's his name? Nicholas Moriano. They were about to end the show, and he was like, what? No super chats? And I was just like, you greedy little... So, anyway, moving on. I've said this before. I'll say it again. This defense is so comparable to the 2006 defense that all Caleb Williams has to do is be better than Rex Grossman. That's all he has to do.
That's the point, though.
But really, that is the point. Rex Grossman was on it. He was after the first 6 to 7 games. He was the talk. They were talking about him being league MVP at the time, if you guys remember. And then he shit the bed at the last half of the season. If this is reversed, and he's figuring it out and like getting progressively better, and then he figures it out the second half of the season, and he's better than Rex Grossman was, this team could go to the Super Bowl, much less make the playoffs. So that's why I'm not getting down on one loss that I thought probably was a loss anyways.
I think the whole panel agrees that Caleb Williams, the potential is there, and that the way that the offense is playing now, they're probably as bad as they're going to be, / we're going to see a better product at least at some point in the near future. But let's flip let's think with our dipsticks. Let's invert everything. Would the Bears have gone to Super Bowl 41 against the Colts if the 2024 defense was supplanted onto that roster? That is where I'm trying to get this conversation going.
Me personally, I think that, unpopular opinion, Sweat hasn't shown up yet.
Yeah.
He has been kind of a disappointment so far this year.
Khalil Mack was a player where when he was getting double teamed, he still felt his impact. He was always setting the edge and always making the most of his reps. I agree. There are some times where it feels like Montez Sweat is disappearing.
And I don't know after that first game if Houston and teams moving forward knows a secret to stopping the guy from Seattle we picked up. Taylor? Is his name
Daryl Taylor.
Daryl Taylor, DT.
So because last game, he wasn't a factor. So my concern is the secret to this defense is getting pressure with the front four. And when we wasn't blitzing, were we getting pressure with the front four, except for the one time when Dexter did it? I'm perfectly fine with our back end. I think our linebackers and our defensive backs, outstanding. That front four, so far, without bringing extra pressure, I'm kind of worried. I'm just putting it out there. I'm kind of worried.
Well, we talked about that though going into the season too, because it was a big. People were even putting that over the offensive line. I remember the week of the season started before the Titans game. People were like, "Oh, the defensive line, man, we're going to be in trouble. They're not going to be able to handle it. But it's not enough." And I kept telling people, I'm like, I'm still more concerned about the offensive line. That defense, we need a couple more guys on that defense, I believe. And then somebody in chat mentioned this, and I saw a little bit. I was watching some of the film. Dexter, when he took on 3 guys and still got pressure, that was amazing.
He's a big guy.
He took on the center, then both the guards slammed him in the side, and he still got pressure on the quarterback. That was amazing. I think we're going to see more of that. I think this defense will progress better. If you noticed at times they were double teaming Sweat. He had the guard and the tackle on him, and a lot of times he had a tackle and a chip blocker on him.
Yeah,
because they were still watching Taylor on the other side. So I mean they know the teams know what to stop. They look at the team and go, okay, if we stop Sweat, then who's next? And you go down the line. Well, there really isn't somebody next yet. I mean, Taylor, great game against Tennessee. He wasn't as. I don't think it seemed like that the Texans were well prepared for both of those ends. If you go back and watch the game film, and on the interior, I still I love Billings. I love Dexter. I think we need another body in there, man. We need another
Jonathan Allen.
Chase Young.
Something else.
I just had to go there from all
Foster, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Don't get me started, Foster.
I'm starting PJ, and that's a mistake.
Man, threatening me with a good time.
What's Chase Young up to nowadays?
He's in New Orleans, by the way, where they playing that.
That's it. You're out of here.
Well,
facts are facts. Facts are facts, brother.
It just needs to progress every week. They need to get better every week, especially offense. And like you said, Carl, man, I just think that we'll see a little bit better as time goes on. I said this, and somebody in the chat said this. September's like fucking preseason these days. You don't know what you're going to get. You really don't, because they don't play these guys together all preseason like they used to.
I know.
Talk to me the first week of October. Somebody said that in the chat too, man. Here, man, this game coming up. I don't know how well we touched on the 06 and 24 defense.
Really quick, Foster. What's up, Raging Oracle? In the huddle, CB Sickles. What's up, Walt?
What's up, Walt?
Sorry, keep going, Foster.
See, Raging Oracle. Yep, first 4 games is the real preseason. So I was saying that we said that last year.
That's what the Bengals think it is.
Oh, they do it every year, but then look where they're at.
Literally, we're just in a Super Bowl not too long ago.
I wish the Bears could do that. Kind of mess around for a month and then just say, okay,
they might be doing that. Waldron might be messing around. Who's to say he's not? We haven't seen it. Oh, okay.
I hope they are.
We don't have the experience for that.
Oh, I'm still on here? I don't know what's going on.
Oh, go back to. I was just trying to adjust the screen. Sorry.
He doesn't know what.
I just don't think we're experienced enough to trick off the first 4 games. I think we have to come ready to play. And to your point, though, Foster, I think we do. I agree with you. I think we need another defensive tackle that can get up in there. But
that's what she said.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Twice.
Ain't no party like a Diddy party.
Indictments.
Penetration up the middle.
Man,
that's why I said it. How many bottles of baby oil were confiscated? Foster, you got the numbers on that?
No.
1,000.
I got my own supply, so I don't worry about anybody
I
else.
had 1,000 bottles of baby oil on the wall. I'm out of here, man.
So I just think our defense. Yeah, it does. I mean, it needs it. I mean, especially when you start thinking about the long haul of the season. You got 17 games, so you're going to need another defensive tackle that can really do something. Hopefully, Pickens get healthy and he can be that guy. But I mean, as Paul should know, I'm a fan of Jonathan Allen coming in, but I'm not sure if I really want to give up a third to get him. I might though. I might be.
You and Jonathan Allen, you're like that's like saying.
I just don't see. I don't see anybody getting rid of anybody right now. It's too early, man.
Yeah, it's Jonathan.
You gotta wait. You gotta wait for some teams to really fall out and make the decision.
That's like saying we're going to get
how we're going to pick a key defensive lineman or offensive lineman. Not at this stage, anyways. And does Poles want to make that move, or is he sitting here going, okay, we're right where we thought we were. Now the team's progressing. We're possibly a playoff team this year. I need one more draft and one more free agency, and I will have the team I want. I mean, that's my mindset on it. If I'm sitting in his shoes, and then him and Cunningham, they got to realize that I'll just say it, man. They got to realize that they made a fucking mistake the last 2 years with what they've done with the offensive line. They have to know this. Whether they're admitting it or not, they have to know it. So then they have to make these adjustments. They've got to figure out the next plan. And it's probably going to be just drafting like we just talked about. Choring up that defensive line, getting another stud there, and then picking up a guard and a center in the draft. The question is, are they going to be ready for next year when we should be on the Super Bowl run and we got 2 rookie offensive linemen in with a bunch of young guys? That would be the old man if he's still here.
I got to pee. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm of the opinion, though, that we actually need a third defensive tackle. Whether or not we want to pay Allen is really the question, because Walt brings up a good point, but you're not really paying Dexter or Billings right now. You're not, or is it Billups or Billings? I forget. Anyway, you're really not really
Andrew
paying,
Billings.
You're really not really paying your defensive tackle right now. So you can bring in a Jonathan Allen if you want, because you're not paying no other defensive tackles right now. But we also need another defensive end, because our defensive end opposite Sweat is still kind of iffy. So you might need to use a draft pick for that. And if you're not re-signing Keenan Allen, which I'm not trying to re-sign him for $22 million or however much he's making, you might need to draft another wide receiver high next year. So, and then to your point, interior offensive linemen, whether it's a center or a guard or both, you probably need to address those. So now our draft picks and our high quality draft picks, being 3 within the first 2 rounds, they're going to get eaten up pretty fast. So how are we addressing these issues that we do have?
So that's the problem, right? Like I didn't do an elegant job of explaining this earlier. When Poles took over, the weakest spot of the team was the defensive secondary. He fixed that in one draft. He got another good draft pick with Tyrique Stevenson, and boom, we have arguably the best secondary in the NFL. So it has to be a combination of the best pick available in the moment and your needs. I don't think the Bears are going to go into it if they have another top 20 pick and say, okay, let's go get the best wide receiver. Let's go trade up for the best receiver. If Keenan Allen walks, so be it. They've got 2 really good receivers after that. Whether you think Rome is good or not, he is. He was a top 10 pick. He's going to be there for the next 4 years.
I'm thinking we need 3, though. That's my point.
Okay, so you need 3 wide receivers. You need a completely rebuilt interior offensive and defensive line. You need this, that, and the other thing. I don't think it's feasible. There's no such thing as a perfect team. I think the Bears are pretty okay at offensive line. I hate to say it. They're not playing well. The interior is not picking up the stunts. They are not playing well. But they absolutely are going to be better if they just spend one nice pick or get a nice free agent signing. I don't know if you trade for someone. Replace Nate Davis. Get a more I can't think of the word.
Competent
player who's capable, a more capable player who wants to play the position, And I think that I think Shorty brought up the word continuity. I think that changing that up on your young rookie quarterback would be more devastating than anything else. Oh, let's just willy-nilly switch Tevin Jenkins. Okay, who's your left guard now? Oh, let's just get a new center. What's Coleman Shelton's value at that point? I mean, I don't know. I'm going to digress here, but there's just no such thing as a perfect roster.
Well, Coleman Shelton is only here for 1 year, if I'm not mistaken. So
right, and he might get re-signed unless they get a really nice acquisition somehow, some way at center. But I would not be surprised if he's our center next year if he comes into form the way that I think he will.
Yeah, so him being on a 1 year contract right now, you can't necessarily rely that he'll be here next year. And maybe that was a whole plan all along, knowing that, oh, he's just a stopgap because we are planning to address it later on. So there's one slot that you might be taking up in the draft. And that's why, again, I say I think we're just 1 year too early with not having traded back. I think we should have still traded back some in order to get more players, because now, because this team is good enough, we're not drafting high enough to where we're being able to trade back and get more draft capital like that. That's the point I was making all along.
Let me just play devil's advocate. I know you brought up Brian Thomas Jr.'s name, and I'm very high on him, and I would have loved for him to be on the Bears somehow, some way. But if they don't have Roma Dunze or Brian Thomas and they just used it on, I don't know, another offensive lineman, aren't we having this really aggressive discussion about how bad the Bears wide receiver room is with an injured Keenan Allen, and saying that it's poor roster construction regarding the wide receivers? Do you see how it's a never-ending circle?
Well, I don't know if you heard the example I gave. I said by trading back a few spots in picking up Brian Thomas. That's the point. You trading back a few spots from number 9 to the middle of the teams or whatever. You get a second in by doing that, so you can then get Brian Thomas Jr. and Jackson Powers Johnson. So you got two for the price of one. So that's what I'm saying. As an example, not saying that I would have necessarily done that. By doing that, you're now addressing more issues and not just going with some guy who you picked up in free agency in Shelton or Coleman Shelton.
That's the beauty of hindsight. It's 2020, and the last point I'll make is I don't know how good Jackson Powers Johnson is playing. I'm pretty sure Cody Whitehair might be playing center for the Raiders, and he's highly graded as well. So, again, only through 2 weeks.
If I remember correctly, I think
JPJ?
He's saying he's playing guard, and I think he's injured, someone told me. I'm not for sure.
Yeah.
Did you have anything prepared for as far as comparing, actually talking about the show title?
I have two sets of graphics for this here.
Well, let's not waste your time. Let's show them and end the show on that.
Yes.
It's pretty a nothing burger. I'm not too proud of it. That's kind of why I was pushing it off.
See, I just here.
Full disclosure.
I just popped up the free agents list for next year. So next year, if you want a wide receiver or you want a defensive end, they're in there. And then also my two guys that I loved, Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith, are both free agents. Imagine throwing both of those guys.
That is wrong. Creed Humphrey is not only not a free agent, he may be the highest paid center in the NFL. Creed Humphrey got a fat.
Oh, you're right.
Diabetic bag.
Right here.
Yep.
Trey Smith's a free agent for sure.
But then now we're going down the Josh Sitton or whatever player you want to say route. Where we're overpaying for an expiring veteran. If God forbid he's not the all-pro front runner, the Bears fans will say, "Oh, he sucks too. We're wasting money on old men."
That was his first contract. He just finished in his first contract this year because
he's a young guy.
That particular draft, I didn't have us getting Justin Fields. I traded back and got Davis Mills, Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey, and 5 other guys.
I think my last point regarding that is that if the Bears had last year's Eagles offensive line and they didn't run that flashy tush push play, I think that the Bears fans would still find a way to criticize the Eagles offensive line. So I don't know.
Tyrique Stevenson, I think he's better than Nathan Vasher.
See, this is the problem with my graphic. It's not next to each other like that, so I haven't gotten to that point yet. I mean, we can do that real quick. Here, continue your point.
Jalen Johnson is not better than Peanut, although he's making a case for being better than Peanut Tillman.
Yes,
so
he is.
I would say keep them in the same position, please, because you can mix and match if you want. But from my recollection, tell me if I'm wrong, Nathan Vasher was the first cornerback, and Charles Tillman in 06 was the second. I'm wrong?
Yeah, you're wrong.
Okay.
You sure about that, Shorty?
I can't.
Charles
I know.
Tillman was the number 2 cornerback in the 2016?
Yeah,
I know
I
that-
bet your social security number that he was.
I know that Charles Tillman always played on the right side, and that was part of the issue because Vasher had a great year where he had 10 interceptions or something one time
In 2005. So now in 2006, which is what we're talking about, that's why Nathan Vasher earned the cornerback number 1 title.
So him having a great year, I know that because when he actually had that great year, he was playing on the right side. And then this year they moved him there to the left, and his year this year wasn't all that good. So I think Charles actually outplayed him this year. It's just that he was stuck on the left side being Vasher. But to your
did
point,
outplay him, Pooch.
huh?
He did outplay him numbers wise, definitely.
Yeah. Then, but to your point, Tyrique, I think this year in particular, what Tyrique has shown the last part of this year and so far last year and so far this year, he outplayed what Vasher was doing in 2006 because 2006 I was not impressed with Vasher. Tillman I thought had a solid year. However, Jalen Johnson, he had a really good year. I mean, the way he's playing now and again last year, I think he was playing better than what Charles Tillman was playing at that particular time.
Tillman had 5 interceptions that year in 14 games. Vasher had 3 interceptions that year in 13 games.
I think that Jalen Johnson, honestly, is probably the best cornerback of the whole slew of them. So
you're probably right. Jaquan Brisker, is he a better safety than the Mike Browns of that season?
It's not even close.
Chris,
I haven't seen enough of Kevin Byard, but I feel like the Bears secondary is just better too.
Kevin Byard might be better. He might be better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we haven't seen it, which sucks, but yeah.
I mean, because you're not seeing a lot of deep passes over the top against the Bears currently. So it's probably because of them afraid to throw Byard's way.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Back to our conversation beforehand, before stage. I mean, when you look at that chart of the best teams ranked by EPA, so whatever the metric for EPA, the better the EPA, the better the defense. That correlates with what coverage they're playing. And the Bears are either playing primarily cover 3 or cover 4. So,
I mean, overall, I think that this secondary, the safeties are better than that. I mean, Mike Brown was a Hall of Famer if he didn't get injured constantly.
This is my point, too. Mike Brown is a better player than Kevin Byard at free safety and a better strong safety than Jaquan Brisker. Mike Brown, healthy, is just better.
What was you saying, Shorty?
That Mike Brown, if he could have just stayed healthy, he would have been a Hall of Famer. I think that if you take into account his entire career so far, I think that this secondary is better than that secondary. Like if he was in that Super Bowl, that would have been a different game. So Tommy Harris and him, that would have been a totally different game. I think so far we can say that currently our safeties are better than that 2006 safety.
Especially when you consider the fact that Mike Brown didn't play that long. He only played with a few games. So, yeah.
How do we want to sort this out then? I'm sorry. I'm just trying to put something nice for the fans on the screen. Do we want to just put together like an all-star team or?
Well, I was going to say so defensive backfield, if you had to choose, which 4 guys are you taking? You taking the 4 Bears from 06 or you taking the 4 Bears from today?
I don't know.
Just in the defensive backfield.
I think I'm taking this current defensive backfield.
I have to agree. I have to take this team too.
I like both of our corners better than
I
those.
would just
two.
love to have Johnson and Tillman on the same field.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would be cheating.
Man.
So
Good.
Yeah.
so
Tillman was
you
a
guys
better
are just
tackle.
you guys are very quick on Vasher. He was not a one-hit wonder, but he had such a high ceiling for such a short time.
Because
And
all
you
of a sudden
guys-
one year he came out and put on 40 pounds of muscle, and we were all like, "What the hell happened to you?" Looked like you were on
Nathan
roids.
Vasher?
Yeah, and then he
I
slowed
don't
down.
remember that, but
He
I was
lost-
very young.
He lost any speed that he had. By like year
That's-
3 or whatever it was, he looked like he was on roids, man, and he was slower.
What was
And that's when
his
he
rookie
declined.
year? Was it 05?
I don't
Well,
remember.
he wasn't very tall either, so
No.
But what I do remember was him again in the orange jersey, again in that windy crazy game against the 49ers. Nathan Vasher had that kick return for a touchdown.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he
I
looked
remember
very
that.
special as a returner on that as
Raging
well.
Oracle saying he was a $185. Basher.
when he came
But
in,
Carl,
Oh,
which
yeah, when he came in, he probably left at
which-
210.
220? Which defensive backfield would you choose? 06 or today's?
I'm
You
gonna
got to
get
pick.
flamed.
You got no
I
choice.
wanna
You got to
say-
pick one or the other.
I want to say 2006.
Okay. That's what
I
we're trying
think
to
that
get.
I'm probably going to get hate for it. I don't care. I think that Nathan Vasher in 06 is a better cornerback than Tyrique Stevenson in 2024.
based on
I would,
And
I
Mike
would have to agree
Brown,
with
Mike
that.
Brown, out of all 8 players, right? So your 2 starting corners, your 2 starting safeties. Out of the whole 8 players, Mike Brown is by far the best. When healthy, and like Shorty said, Mike Brown is the only fringe Hall of Famer,
okay,
See,
but
this-
and that carries a
this
lot
is-
of weight to me.
I would like to revisit this at the end of the season when the season's said and done because things.
So would
can
I.
change.
Yeah. Let
know what I
me
mean?
remind PJ during our bye week, we're going to be ranking our quarterbacks again, too, after we've got a good sample size of Caleb Williams. So
So-
we can definitely come back to this, Foster.
So we can move along and get Shorty out when he's got to get out. Let's just do a comparison, a quick
I don't
thing
even
of
remember. I don't remember
the
Ricky
linebacker.
Manning.
Ricky,
That's-
okay, this
that's
is the story that I
Foghorn.
told PJ behind
We still got to
the
preview the
stage
game,
here.
guys, coming up.
Well, we didn't preview it, but we got our score predictions. I mean, and you guys have it on the screen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you guys want to pivot to
I
something, let
just
me
wanted
know.
to cover this quickly and not go
But-
into too much.
Okay,
I
so
thi-
of
'Cause I
the,
want to get to the linebackers.
I'll take Kyler Gordon over Manning, which is the defensive backfield. That goes along with what we said. The linebackers, I mean, I would take Urlacher and Briggs over Edwards, and I would barely take Briggs over Edwards, though. They're almost the same player. Obviously, Urlacher over Edmonds, but definitely Jack Sanborn over Hunter Hillenmeyer.
You think it's a definitely?
Definitely, yeah.
I don't call it a definitely. I'm very even on that, though. Like, they can go either way.
I'll take Sanborn. I mean, I like them both. You can't. But so, which group, if you had to choose?
The 2006 for me.
We're going to answer all the same. If you had to
2006.
choose, Peach, which linebacker group you taking with the slot cornerback?
it's closer than expected. But I think I'll go with probably 6.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. It's the 06.
Actually,
and that could change by the end of the season. I just don't know.
yeah, I mean, just
Go
looking
ahead,
at the
Carl.
starters, I think it is actually super, super important to include the slot cornerback on that level. I did it just for visual purposes, but Kyler Gordon, honestly, is the Hunter Hillenmeyer of the Bears defense in the sense that he's on the field as often as Hillenmeyer was, and he's playing in that space. He's not a linebacker. He's not tasked with playing the strong side linebacker and letting the weak side linebacker clean up. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that Kyler Gordon has the same he's in the same space.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I still obviously take the 06 defense because you have a Hall of Fame linebacker.
That's what just makes it so hard to compare. We're talking 2 different eras. Play was different 20 years
Yes,
ago.
it's a 4-3
So,
by number and nothing more.
Lance Briggs
It's really
and Keenan
different.
Tillman and Olin Kreutz are now on the ballot for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that was
So-
also something I wanted to integrate into this. Thank you.
So you can say that Briggs is, potentially a Hall of Famer because
Right.
he's on the ballot.
I don't think it's his first time being on the ballot though. Like
Yeah.
Thomas Jones is on the ballot this year. He's been on the ballot before I've seen. So
could you guys see TJ Edwards possibly making the Hall of Fame if he continues the path he's been on?
Yeah.
So I'm
Or at
just
least
throwing it
last
out
year
there, man.
back. Yeah. Same talk.
No, I don't
don't-
think they have the same value anymore. I don't think that T.J. Edwards will ever get the love that a Briggs will get.
They probably,
True.
you're probably
True.
100% right, Carl, but we know it's there. I mean, it should be.
Now, if
PJ,
T.J. Edwards
wait,
got
wait,
traded
what-
midseason
let
to the
PJ
Ravens,
talk. PJ, what do you got to say?
I was just saying,
Shut up, Carl.
I just think
I know. I'm just joking around, dude. I get it. What'd you say, Dan?
Let PJ talk. That's what I said.
who?
Shut the fuck
What I was
up, Dan, and let TJ talk.
What I was trying to say was, I think that the key to making the Hall of Fame isn't necessarily how well you play, but whether or not you get those votes for All Pro and Pro Bowl. Because T.J. Edwards, I thought, played great last year. He didn't get a Pro Bowl for it, so therefore,
Should've.
when they start counting up how many Pro Bowls did he make, well, he didn't make that many, so we're not going to name him to the Hall of Fame. And I think that's the disservice of it. So
Yeah.
I think you can play well and miss out on the Hall of Fame simply because they don't name you to the Pro Bowl.
And really
like-
stupid stuff
like
will get
Steve
integrated into
McMichael?
that as well. They'll say, "Oh, T.J. Edwards doesn't run a fast 40 time." You know that has came up in arguments before. It's
Yeah.
really sad because he's a damn good linebacker.
Just show me the play on the field. Fuck the other numbers. I'm sorry.
So defensive line, the only one I would take over any of the other guys is Montez Sweat.
Agreed.
I disagree.
Yeah, I disagree too. PJ, go ahead, tell him why.
I disagree because of what we're asking our one tech to do. I think Billings does a better job than what Tank Johnson did at the one tech.
No, but specifically, like, I don't know. Again, you can flame me. That's fine. Gunlier and Alex Brown might be both better than Montez Sweat. We adore Montez Sweat because we traded for him when we needed him, and he's came in and done a fantastic job, and we gave him a king's ransom for it. But Alex Brown
So
and
far, he's
Gunlier
been
were
Alex
both
Brown this
very,
year.
very good.
So far this year, he's been Alex Brown.
Are you insinuating that Alex Brown is a bad
No,
player?
I'm just saying he's played the role, but he hasn't. He's done his job, but hasn't stood out.
Now I agree with that. Now to your point, Shorty, I would take Sweat as a part of that. You know, if I had to choose, out of the 4 defensive linemen or defensive ends, I like Sweat the best. But I'm just saying, as far as the overall line, I just think that where the difference is for me is the one tech position, because then when you get that one tech who's causing double teams and having people to react to him, other things are now opening up around him, and that's what I think Billings brings right now.
But PJ, let me present to
my
you
point,
my secondary argument now to the defensive line, okay? Pick the 4 best defensive linemen from 06 and the 4 best defensive linemen from 2024. Of those 8 players, for me, Tommy Harris is far and away the best player. And again, it's hard to say because of injuries, but Tommy Harris is far and away better than anyone of the other 7.
Well, here. What happens if you take Tommy Harris off the defensive line in 06? They
We
are
lose the
nowhere
Super Bowl.
nothing.
We lose the
They're-
Super Bowl.
They're
Well-
just not. They're not the same guys, and you can reverse it with Sweat. Look at the guys around him. He doesn't have the talent.
I don't
around
know.
him.
I don't know about
here,
that. Like,
I'm gonna-
Gunlier and Alex
me
Brown
ask-
were
let me
really
ask you
good,
this, though, Carl.
and Mark
What's-
Anderson spelled him and got 10+ sacks.
I remember the
And
season.
Tommy
I'm
Harris,
just-
when did he get injured? Was it during the playoffs? I don't even remember if he played in the playoffs that
He
year.
got injured during season and missed the
Late.
fucking Super Bowl.
But he missed a good amount of the season, I thought, like 4, 5, 6 games.
Nope, that's why we were winning, because he was
I
there.
think he
He
missed 2
missed
or 3.
towards the
but-
end.
No, I thought he missed more. Now, you guys got to understand. My favorite Bears player of all time is Tommy Harris. Period.
What?
Tommy Harris is my favorite
Yeah.
Bears player of all time. I've
Over-
always
saying it for 3
Walter
years.
Payton?
You've
over
been saying it
Walter
for
Payton.
3 years, Dan.
I've been saying it all along. He's my
Because you're a
favorite
defensive
player.
lineman at heart.
I actually met him. That's why I met him. I talked to him, and he's a great guy. Really is,
Well, get him on the show. What are you doing, Peach?
bro.
Honestly.
I'll be busy, man. But anyway, but no.
Thanks,
I mean,
Walt. Thanks, Walt.
So I think that his that year in particular, he wasn't playing great. That was not one of his better years. So I'm saying that although because he got hurt in week 13, he was having, in my opinion, that wasn't not his better year. So I can't say that he played better than what Sweat was doing better than what Sweat was doing for us last year. Sweat made more of an impact, in my opinion, in those few games that he played last year than what Tommy was doing that particular year. Because
Tommy Harris played 12 games in 2006. So he must have missed the last 4 or the last 3.
Week 13.
Yep. Okay, so he missed 1 game before that.
Yeah, his hamstring. He sit up there and he didn't.
I thought it was his knee.
Hamstring.
Oh.
His hamstring, and part of his regimen was icing it for 2 on, 1 off, and he wasn't doing that, and then he ended up getting fined for it because he wasn't doing the correct treatments for it. But oh my goodness, that guy, he's a good dude. If you ever guys get a chance to look up his testimony about how his wife died and the things he went through, man, I'm telling you, powerful testimony. Great guy. I love the dude. I truly do love the guy. I respect him tremendously.
So
Aldo Gondian saying, breaking news, a Schaumburg man is charged with criminal sex abuse of an Uber driver. Foster, where do you live?
I can't reveal that, man. I float around Schaumburg, but we're going to just totally drop that. Later, Aldo. I'll be in Arlington Heights soon.
So if you had to pick, which one of these defensive lines are you guys picking? I'm gonna go overall with the 2006 defensive line.
Same. It's hard for me because
I want to
Tommy
mix and match, but I can't.
I guess because I'm looking at the Super Bowl,
right.
And I thought our defensive line in that Super Bowl was kind of less than, but my guy wasn't
Tommy Harris though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, do I consider this line with Tommy or without Tommy?
All things considered, you have to just
with Tommy.
All things considered.
Tommy Harris healthy off of PEDs, like Tommy Harris season. At his best. Yep.
Well, 06 then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm taking 06 too.
So the only thing we're changing
let's definitely revisit this
as
after the season.
As a team is the secondary, and I'm including Kyler Gordon in that over Ricky Manning. I don't even remember him being on that team.
Okay, yeah. Ricky Manning, he was a nice free agent acquisition. He got paid. He was a big name. They were very excited for him. I don't know if he played well or not, but yes, the Bears secondary, I think overall as a unit now is better than what they had in 06. But Mike Brown was by far the best player.
Yeah, for sure.
Agreed.
And what week did Mike Brown get hurt?
What week did the Bears defeat the Arizona Cardinals on Monday Night Football? Because that lies the answer.
6, 7, somewhere in there.
Because Mark Anderson came off the edge, hit that motherfucker, ball came out, Mike Brown scooped it in. That was the first touchdown to start that comeback, and then next defensive play on that next series hurt for the year. Totally demoralizing.
Carl, you remember that? Like I remember the Thursday night game where McMahon came in off the bench and threw 3 passes and 2 of them were touchdowns.
His first 2 passes were touchdowns.
First 2.
Yeah. To Willie Galt and Dennis McKinnon.
Yep. So I love McKinnon, so underrated.
Yeah.
Should we move on to do a little preview of the game?
Let's do a little preview. Yes, let's get we've got a lot of score predictions from everyone in chat already. We've been keeping score of them. Have you got all of them, Carl?
Yeah, let me throw it on screen so that anyone who doesn't see their name can yell at me. Hold on.
We got over 200 in the chat right now, guys.
Wow. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight.
17 in chat because apparently the Twitter machine doesn't work. So
Yeah, we
I
don't
see
get
that
pins.
facetiously.
Go ahead and bust my bubble there, Carl. But we got over 200 in the chat.
There's 200 watching. That's all that matters.
Man, 204.
204. Thank you,
200
guys.
porn bots on Twitter. Thank you, porn bots.
Yeah, they're probably all like all those women that are like
Can you imagine if I made a
following everyone on
fake
Twitter now.
if I made a fake Twitter porn bot account and called it Foster's Toothless Girlfriend? That would be awesome.
Girlfriends.
But which one?
I'll see myself out.
You gotta make it plural.
He just said Don Ugly.
Did you see
Wow.
Foster get that smile on his face? About, but which one?
Quit paying attention to shit, Peach.
Illinois Jones, I'm here, ladies. What's up? What's up, girlfriend?
What's up,
Illinois.
Illinois Jones?
How you doing, man? Did you see
Illinois
what
Jones, I'm
Armando
Illinois.
Lara Jr. said? Dennis McKinnon was his head coach, and he also had dinner at his house. Nice.
That's what's up, man. That's what's
No
up.
shit.
That's what's up.
Really?
That's awesome, man.
That's awesome.
That's what's up.
Armando Lara Jr.
In Illinois, I hope you're not a lady, dude, because I don't want to have to come to your house or anything.
All right, PJ, we need your numerical prediction for the game against the Colts.
I thought I put it in chat. 28-17. I thought I said.
For which team?
Bears.
He must have not been listening in chat.
He
Bro,
picks the
don't
Bears
get me
every-
started.
You know what I love about PJ? He'll look at the beginning of the season and go, "Yeah, the Bears are only going to win 4 games," and then you ask him every week, and then they're 17.
I know.
every year.
It makes me feel
Every
like I
year.
have dementia. I know. I know.
He's
You
worse
want
than
to
me at that, but I love it.
I told you guys I will pick the Bears every week, but when I look overall, I'll give my prediction of what I think. But when it comes to that week, I'm like, there's a chance we can win this game. So
Okay.
this is how we can win it, and this is what the score can be.
Scottish
Chat.
Bear is the only one with a loss.
Yeah, Scottish Bear said 21-17 Colts, and he said something about how the Bears can't run the ball, which hopefully that changes. But again,
Right,
chat,
need to
if you
change
don't
that.
see your name on the screen and you want your prediction to be made known, please let me know. Drop it in the chat.
I see J2K says that he's thinking that the Colts only going to get 6 points. Man, okay.
That would
I'm not going to write that
surprise me.
down. I'm sorry. I'm not writing that down.
I've just got him kicking a lot of field goals.
Ghost
Man.
of Judah Tribe. What is up, Ghost of Judah? The legendary Ghost of Judah Tribe. Bajan starts, we win 35-17. Caleb starts, we lose 16-17.
Is that an alternate account? Is Shorty pontificating right now?
Oh,
like a
no,
troll.
no.
Nope.
I'm thinking that Anthony Richardson might do us some harm. That's my reason for giving up 17 points.
I see a couple picks because of Richardson.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Yeah, I'm talking about with his legs, man. It was legs in his arm. I mean, because if I'm not mistaken, didn't our defensive backs get beat on a couple of long passes, but the quarterback ended up overthrowing them and they didn't connect, but they was behind our defensive back.
There was one play where Tank Dell made a nice route, and Stroud had been forced out of the pocket, and it was either just too tall for the short Tank Dell or overthrown. But that's the only one that comes to mind.
Listen, guys. Aldo, he says, see you guys next week. Remember, everyone, to hit the like and share and social media and leave a comment. Thank you so much, Aldo. Thank you for your super chat. You are the Podfather. We love and appreciate you more than you know, my friend. Hope all is well with you. Thank you for joining us tonight. We'd love to see you again next week. Whenever you're in chat, it just makes the show better, man. Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate you, Aldo. Appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely, Aldo. Thanks.
Listen. The Ghost of Judah Tribe, man. Come on. I know you're just in here to stir shit up and yada, yada, yada. But, really? Last year you were all about Bajent over Justin Fields, and I understand. I get it. I had my own moments. But really, with Caleb Williams, dude, are you not a Bears fan? Are you really just a Lions or Packers fan that poses, you don't even really actually pose as a Bears fan on your channel. You don't really ever do that. It's not like you have a Bears banner in the background. It's a bunch of half naked men wearing tights, and you're all the wrestling guys you must love. So I'm just curious, like, are you really a Bears fan? Are you just a troll? You a fan of another team? Because I don't get you. I don't think any of us get you. And if you're being accused of being a troll, I would love to know just if you really are. Just be honest with it, man.
He said Bajan is a Bear, isn't he? That's like a Panthers fan being excited that Andy Dalton is starting now over
but
Bryce Young, who you traded the farm for.
If you're a Lions fan or a Packers
I'm gonna play
fan,
devil's advocate.
You want Bajan to start over Caleb Williams.
How can the devil himself play devil's advocate?
Shut up, Carl.
I'm just kidding. Oh, okay.
You don't give him all the information yet. No, I'm just gonna say. I'm just gonna say.
Jesus.
Because I thought of this too, man. In the preseason, I'm like, wow, Bajan just looks so ready to step in and be a quarterback. That's just an observation. It's just an observation. It doesn't mean anything. Maybe his point is
second or third round trade waiting to happen.
Maybe his point is if Bajan's in there today starting because it's not a rookie quarterback again starting a game, like we've had multiple times over the last 9 seasons, the offense could run a little better. That's all. I'm not saying anything for him or against him. It's just an opinion.
Shorty.
If the ghost of Judah Tribe is really a Bears fan, then I'll tell you this much: you weren't in the chat when I posed the question. Should we? In fact, there actually is a clip of one of those shows titled "Should we hide Tyson Bagent or should we hide Caleb Williams?" And with that, I meant, should we start Tyson Bagent over Caleb Williams this season? Let him sit on the bench like the Packers do, and then we can build up Bagent's trade value and then trade him for a second or third round pick. And then Caleb steps in next year after having a year on the bench to learn, like all the teams that have done it right with a good quarterback have done. And
Mahomes,
the good ones.
Jordan Love.
I will say this about Ghost of Judah Tribe. The fact that Judah Tribe has a spiritual meaning for those of you who know anything about Jacob's 12 sons in the Bible and whatnot. I choose not to talk negatively about you, but if you're here to troll, please, sir, let's not do that.
I really don't want to kick you out of here, bro. Judah, if you're a Bears fan, you're welcome in here. You can hang out with us all night. And if you're a Tyson Bagent fan over a Caleb Williams fan, I understand. You're welcome to your opinion. But if you're a troll, then that's all that matters. And just get out of here, dude.
The Ghost of Judah Tribe said, "Who's trolling? These are facts." I don't know about facts, but they're opinions for sure, and everybody's got a right to an opinion.
Just let them Don Burr, no spamming.
Well, there's something to be said about starting rookie quarterbacks, towards the beginning of the year. I mean,
I agree.
There are very few that has succeeded, so I understand that point. I can't say, and you guys know how I feel about who I feel about, but I can't say with a clear heart that I think Bagent is better than Caleb. I can't say that. I think, Caleb will go through some growing pains. That's just the nature of the beast when you have a rookie quarterback. Some of them get through them faster, but we will see a lot of blitzes until Caleb shows that he knows how to handle a blitz. We will have a lot of blitzes come his way. Once he shows he can,
season long.
Right. And once he shows that he can defeat that consistently, teams will then back off and start playing coverage because they're going to get tired of getting burned. But until then, that's what we're going to get. And it's just an adjustment period right now for him. I mean, again, the line and the coordinator trying to get together on how to do the protections. I mean, we're going through some stuff that I wish we would have went through preseason by playing the guys more. But I mean, to say flat out that I think Bagent is better than Caleb, no, sir, I can't say that. I can't say that. I mean, if you remember Ghosts of Judah Tribe, Bagent's arm strength last year was kind of suspect at best. It was like really bad. I think it has improved, but I can't say I really saw him throw a long pass during preseason. So I can't say for sure that it's better. But no, I don't believe he's better than Caleb. No, sir.
He hasn't. Bagent cannot make those wall plays with his arm talent. Like he might be better in rhythm and timing right now, and that would be the reason for me to play Bagent over Caleb, to let Caleb sit for his first year, so that it also builds, like I said, again, I'll say it again, it builds up his trade value for a higher pick, but he's not the future of this team. And if you think he's the future of this team, Ghost, I just beg you to keep paying attention, because eventually you're going to see that Caleb is a lot better. If you really like Bagent over Caleb, everyone's allowed to have their opinion. I'm not going to shit on you for that. You're not wrong in having your own opinion. But, if the proof starts to come into the pudding and you're on here saying that shit, well, then that's a different thing. Then you're a troll.
Well, I think that,
time will tell on all this. It doesn't even matter.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Part of the thing is we're not calling you dumb by saying that you think Bagent is better than Caleb. I've never once called you dumb for that. I disagree with you, but I'm not going to call you dumb. I think the problem becomes with you is when you start calling people dumb for what they feel. You're not dumb for what you feel. And to call people dumb for that is just inappropriate. And
absolutely,
that's something I just don't like in our chat. I mean, I've seen other podcasts where people start talking negatively to the chat, and I'm not going to be that type of host to where I'm going to talk negatively to you.
We're not going to do that to you at all. None of us are going to.
No, they only do that to me, guys. It's okay.
Well, you are dumb, Foster.
But I don't think we have to be disrespectful.
Nope.
Just because we disagree.
Yep.
And that's the whole thing. I mean, Shorty and I disagree all the time, but I love him like my brother. And absolutely. I'm never going to disrespect him over my disagreement with him.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're totally allowed to have your opinion, man. We don't shit on you for that. Just be respectful of everyone in our chat, please. That's all I can ask.
And
that's
their
all anyone can
too.
ask of you.
We don't call names. Don't say somebody's stupid or you don't even know. Just It's just a conversation, man. We're all getting to say our thing, and people, you guys are replying, and we're reading it. That's how this happens. So let's get on to we've picked our scores. Anything that's going to stand out in this game? I mean, what do you guys think is going to happen offensively? Me and Shorty only got him scoring 22 points. That's not a lot.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
But you notice we both got the defense holding them under 20 again, because that's my point with the defense is we can keep any team under 20. We're in every game.
Yeah, I think
9 or 9.
I think this is a game. We're expected probably to run the ball because they've been having a horrible time defending the run. I think this is actually a game where we're going to show a balanced attack to where they're going to shore up their run defense. And then when they shore up that run defense a little bit, that's when we're going to start throwing the ball. Once we start throwing the ball, then they're going to relax. Then we're going to start running the ball. So that's why I predict 28 points from our offense, because they're going to do things to try to shore up, whether it's putting 8 people in the box or whatever, but they're going to try to shore up that run defense. And then we're going to pick them apart a little bit. Then they're going to back off. Then our runs are going to start.
Yeah, I think that this game is going to be a hell of a lot different. I think you have a little bit of kind of both worlds in these first 2 games, and I'm really hoping that Waldron gets his head out of his ass and plays the right personnel, and we start going max protect, man. And we need to make Cole Kmet his best friend, not
Agreed.
DJ Moore, not Roma Dunze. Obviously not Keenan Allen right now. He's not going to play. But whoever else the other guy is going to play in his place. It has to be Cole Kmet. The tight end is a quarterback's best friend. There's been too many plays where just everyone's downfield and he's getting murdered because the play had to develop for 4 seconds.
Right.
And it only lasted 2. So, Cole Kmet has to be a featured aspect of this game, in my opinion, and as well as changing up the running back room, man.
Yes.
We need to play more. We need a 1-2 punch with Swift and with Khalil Herbert, and we need to also utilize Roschon Johnson in some more plays just to not make it look like we're putting him in there to protect the quarterback.
Right.
Give him the ball a little bit too, and then put him in on max protect. He's a great blocker.
I think what J2K says is spot on. The utilization 13. Of the 12 and 13 personnel. I think that will help, and that's what I'm saying. I think that's what is going to end up happening. We're going to come out like that. They're going to load their box, and then we're going to have one-on-one outside with DJ and Rome. And once they start winning those battles, then they're going to try to readjust. Then we can open up our running game even then. So, good point, J2K.
Well, I think we have to establish the run because we have not done that well at all this year, unlike the last 2 years. And I'll take Justin's numbers out of it. We still ran the ball. And when you can't run the ball, you have problems offensively. We've seen it.
Especially with a rookie.
They need to take a page out of even the Packers book or the Lions book, KC, where you're running the ball 5 times in a row because you can't. I don't know if we're capable of it.
Can we talk about it, though? Can we talk about it, Foster?
Yes.
Can we talk about what Green Bay did to the was it the Titans? What did it just beat?
The Colts. Didn't they just beat the Colts?
Yeah.
No, Titans lost. Packers beat the Colts.
Just beat the Colts.
Yeah, Packers.
With Malik Willis.
Yes.
They ran the ball 53 times. I mean, I've told you guys this already. LaFleur, to me, is one of the best coaches in the league. And that proved it right there for me. Here you are.
That's it. You're out of here, PJ.
No, put him fucking back. He's right. Get on, man.
I'm telling you, man.
I hate hearing that. I hate it.
Oh, I mean, but that's what you do, though. I mean, to Foster's point, that's what I'm making. I'm making Foster's point. The fact that here you are, we have to protect our rookie quarterback, and you hand the ball off 53 times. I mean, man, it's like I'm like
that's
watching
protecting the shit out of your quarterback, Peach.
Yes,
just handing the ball off.
Wow, I mean, simple, basic, fundamental football works. I mean, oh man, I just seen that. I'm just watching it, going, wow. I mean, wow.
It's something we have to be able to do. Offensively, man, we've got to be able to run the ball and get some quick, short passes in there. There's a couple passes that I think there was one pass, and you guys everybody saw this because his father put it on. It was all over Twitter, man, where Odunze was wide open in the end zone. Did you guys see that or no? His father put it on Twitter. Well, you wouldn't see it, Peach.
Right.
Defensively, I mean, I think that's the biggest key to this game is establish a running game. Because somebody said in chat, man, if we can't run the ball, we're just screwed this entire year. If we can't run it, we're done. We're not going to go anywhere.
Telling
you. So that's a must. And then I think the big aspect of this game is their offense against our defense. That we should be in good shape against this team this week.
I think
so. And I'm only going off. I watched the Packers game because unfortunately every freaking week. How come you can always get a Packers game in Chicago? Why the hell is that? They always show the Packers week after week after week.
It's the closest
I like
market.
To see. Yeah, I know. They're right here. There's a lot of fans around.
A lot of cheeseheads here too.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think defensively is going to be our key. We ought to get 2 or 3 takeaways in this game. Shut their running game down because they actually have
in Wisconsin.
what's his name rushed for last week against the Packers? 130 yards, I think. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, he is a huge part of their offense. He did. I think he ran for 130 yards last week.
Yeah.
So as long as we control that, I don't think we'll have any problems with this wide receiver core or the quarterback. Do you? We should be able to handle this game and come away with a win.
Well, I think it'll be tight first because they're at home. Because Indy's at home, I think that's going to make a difference. But yeah, I do.
A couple hundred miles
I respect
away.
Anthony Richardson's running ability. I mean, he has a cannon for an arm too, but you got to respect his running ability. So that's why I'm giving him 17 points, because I'm like, yeah, he's going to break loose at some point. When, I don't know, but he's going to break loose at some point. But yeah, I just think that, to Foster's point, run the ball. Run the ball. I mean, and you can sit up there and it's like a team gets defeated when you start running down their throat. They like, I know this team is going to run on me. I want to stop it. I can't stop it. And you're going to defeat. I mean, you can defeat them mentally. You can just wipe them out. And man, just keep on grounding. And I think, again, I think we can win. I mean, again, but it's not going to be any different any other time I say it all year long. I want to say the same thing. I think we can win.
I think
you just
preview. Preview going forward. I would say, yeah, I think
we're 28 points.
Was this game one of 13 PJ's 13 losses before the season started? I'm joking, Pete.
As a matter of fact, it was.
Was it?
Yeah, I thought we was going to start 0-4.
That's right, you did. You did going into the Rams game,
0-4.
right? After the Rams game, they started winning.
Yeah.
The sky is not falling, gentlemen.
I mean, the other thing too is just. I think the other thing we got to watch is don't let Alec Pierce get behind our D at all, man, because the guy's a speed burner. He will. I think he had 3 catches or something, but 80 yards and a touchdown or something. Just don't let the guy get behind you, because if the ball's in his area, he will catch it. It will be a touchdown. I think those are the 2 big factors for the Bears.
Richardson has a cannon on that.
Stop! Like their offense is Taylor, and then whatever he can come up with at quarterback, man. If you watch any of their games, I've caught a couple of it.
Tony Moy makes a good point.
And then we need to run the ball. We need to be able to confidently run the ball and gain more than 1.5 yards per carry. That's a joke.
Stop putting Taylor in the shotgun.
Yeah, that's what I.
Yeah. So I put
Where's Carl?
He seems to be under center more so far in this season than I thought he would have been. So I'm hopeful for that. But you're right. Like a little bit more would be better.
Yeah. Especially in that 12 and 13 personnel. Man, just let them like I said, get those guys going forward. And let's go forward.
You never know if it's going to be run or a pass out of that formation. And I don't know if Waldron is just setting something up for the future. He could be, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Guys, we got to end this show because I have got to go to bed, pack shit up, get ready to get out of a hotel after being here in Illinois for a month on my Italian beef bender excursion. So we had some great picks from Cliff Victoria about some of the food he made tonight, but I'm not going to keep going on that because we'll talk about food for another half an hour. So let's get to the chat, guys. I want to thank all you guys for hanging out with us tonight. J2K, Illinois Jones, Doug Van Dorn, Tony Moy. Somebody else going to pick up on that, or just me?
Okay, J2K, Doug Van Dorn. In the huddle, Chicago, CB Sickles. Walt.
Wow. What's up, Walt?
Tony Moy.
Zach Sullivan.
Illinois Jones. Raging Oracle. Ghost of Judah Tribe.
Raging Oracle.
What else we got here?
Hey, Ghost, man, you're welcome in this chat anytime, man. Your opinions are valid. They're your own opinions. Everyone's entitled to them. Just as long as you're respectful, we love to see you in here with us.
Cliff.
Thanks for joining us.
Cliff Victoria.
Atlas.
Finds my podcast. Eduardo
Armando Lerra.
I was trying to do
Eduardo
my
Isaac
I was
Rodriguez.
trying to do my accent. Hold on, let me see if I can get it. Eduardo Isaac Rodriguez. How was that?
Eduardo
Isaac
Rodriguez.
You guys get Raging Oracle,
Armando
Walt in the
Lerra.
Huddle, Illinois Jones,
Patty
J2K,
Lerra.
Zach Sullivan, Diane
Mr.
Smile,
Mayhem,
Ant Moss,
Leo
Chips
Factor
Ahoy
1.
boy.
Chipsy DVD.
Leo Factor.
We
Aldo,
guys appreciate
God,
all you guys in the chat. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate your support. Appreciate all you do. Aldo Gandia, who was here earlier. Appreciate you, Aldo. Again, can't thank you guys enough for joining us. We don't claim to be experts. We just want to be here and have a good time, talk Bears football among friends, and that's what we're doing.
And we know that we are competing with Thursday Night Football, so we really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Everyone on Twitter hanging out with us tonight during a during a Thursday Night Football game. We know that you could be anywhere else, and we appreciate you guys. Everyone in chat, love and appreciate you guys. I'll say this for the 100 millionth and 10th time. We do this for you. We do.
Yes.
We really, really do. I really didn't want to do the show tonight. I have a lot to do to get ready to leave after being here for a month. I drive back to Georgia on Saturday. But you guys are what makes us do this. It's what keeps us going. Not to mention you two.
If he didn't do it, I was going to beat him up, so that's why he did it.
Not to mention you, PJ and Foster. You are the reasons why I do this. And Carl, thank you, Carl, for all of your help and support and setting up the shows and the thumbnails and all of the background work that you do and the production stuff that you do for everything. Love and appreciate you. Thank you all for another wonderful, fun, and exciting Thursday night. We will see you next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Central. And Portillo's is dead to me. Guys, let's
You tell them that we'll keep doing. We're going to keep doing the show whether they like it or not. Did you say that or no?
Yeah, we'll keep doing the show whether you like
Go
it or
have
not.
some Portillo's. Go have some Portillo's, Dan, and lay down. Gotta go to sleep.
Dan is
And then-
Portillo's,
and then
man. I'm
count-
telling you.
And then contact the manager and tell him how much it sucks. Tell him it tastes like fucking gamey beef because it does.
We had a possible sponsorship by Portillo's, but they declined after watching the show.
I honestly was thinking about this as I was eating bone of beef tonight for dinner. I was like, I really wanted to contact Portillo's about a sponsorship, but fuck them. Maybe I'll contact Bona. Seriously. But Sammy's, I talked to the owner, David Keith. Sammy's in Round Lake Beach and in Lake Villa. If you know who they are, go see them. Go get an Italian beef. Tell them BCP sent you. They'll probably give you a 10% discount as of now. So if you do know where that's at, check it out.
I did that and they threw me out.
Well, that's you, Foster. I said, look out for the guy that has the pussy-smelling mustache that's stained with nicotine. And they saw you, or they were like, nope.
So that was my picture. Horse meat, or Zach Sullivan says horse meat or lab grown, maybe.
Maybe horse meat, yes. It could be horse meat. Tastes like horse meat. I'll tell you that much.
You guys make this all happen, man.
How you know how horse meat tastes?
Thanks for the pleasure.
Because I've had Portillo's recently, and that's what I would imagine horse meat tastes like. I wouldn't give that shit to my dog.
But he brings it to me all the fucking time.
All right, guys, we'll see. Go ahead.
He's meeting me for lunch at Portillo's, and he talking about how much he hates it.
Don't you remember me bitching to you about Portillo's when we had it, when we met in Champaign on the way up here?
Yeah.
I was like,
I'll be the opposite there. I go all the way there to enjoy Portillo's with him, and he's complaining about it the whole time. I'm like, well, dang, bro.
While he's eating the fucking cheeseburger, and I'm jealous.
He's never stopped. He's never stopped since that day complaining about it. Every time I talk to him on the phone, he complains about it.
I'm like, should we just go to Chick-fil-A next time?
Well, I'll join you for the chick.
Okay.
The chicks. The chicks.
Okay. Man.
The cake is fire, Raging Oracle. Hey, the burgers are good. The dogs are good. The beef sucks. I challenge every one of you in chat that is able to eat Portillo's. Go and have one. And
So, Pete, you think we'll be okay this weekend? I do. I don't know what Shorty's beef is.
Good one.
I implore you.
Nor do I ever want to find out what Shorty's beef is.
And report your findings to me in chat. What you think of Portillo's on the next show. Make it it's your homework.
Yes. Seriously, guys, thank you guys very much for joining us. Shorty got to get out of here, so we're going to keep you guys, but thank you guys for joining us. And we got your records predictions for next week, so we'll bring them up next Thursday and see how we did.
Stay safe, everybody, and go Bears.
All right, let's end the shit out on 1, 2, 3 Bears. Ready? 1, 2, 3
Bears.